Hi everyone, so thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. My name's Caroline and I am the guys I work under is called Future Positive Life, but basically it's just me, therapies that I offer and things like that. Anyway, I've been guided, been nudged since the other day. I woke up feeling like I've been having, I'm sure there's many of you, especially if you're watching this, for light workers, way showers, people who are aware of what's happening in the world right now, who feel like they need to, this feels like there's an urgency to do our work, but at the same time it's very physical, it's very the things, emotional, the things that we're experiencing. It's a universal purge, isn't it? And this is what's happening for everybody. It's just that some people are more aware. So this is for the people that are more aware, really, and the people who are guided to watch. If it resonates with you, I'd love you to comment and click the wiggly bell to subscribe to the channel if this resonates with you and you want to hear more of what I am now being guided to share more often. There seems to be this urgency. So basically woke up the other day after some more intense dreams. I've always had intense dreams, vivid dreams, all my life really. But it's sort of now that I'm paying more attention to what the meaning of those might be and why I've had them all this time, and was definitely guided. I keep getting this picture in my mind was reminded of when I gave birth, and the message that was coming through is that obviously we know that all of these changes and shifts of consciousness are happening, and the truths that are coming to light, and it can feel really demoralizing. It can feel the state of the world. What do we do about this? It feels overwhelming. It feels heavy. And the picture that keeps getting brought to my mind is of my different labours. So bear with me, because it might sound a little bit nuts for a moment, but I'm sort of being guided that it's actually really relevant and will resonate with people and on different levels. If you've given birth yourself, naturally, and even if it hasn't been naturally, even if you've had been operated on or whatever, that this brings up a different challenges and things that we go through, because obviously when you are pregnant, when you are carrying that life, you it puts a huge amount of stress and causes, it's the biggest amount of trauma that a human body can go through, is birthing another person in whatever way that might end up being. So the picture that I kept getting in my mind, and the message that I'm supposed to share, is that my first child, she's 23 now, beautiful, bless her, amazing, beautiful being. Anyway, she came early, and it was a lovely pregnancy. I was very happy. It was unexpected, but I was very happy within that. I was very young. I was only 21, and but the whole experience, was new to me, and enjoyed it for the most part. My body changed and obviously went through a myriad of emotions and things as things were happening and changing for me. But when it came to the labour, my partner at the time, her dad, was in the room with me, and it got to a stage where I was in the hospital, and the birth part of it, my labour, all happened really quite quickly. She was ready to come, but I didn't feel ready. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know what to expect, really, as nobody really does. You can go to the classes, you can go to the birthing classes, you can hear stories from other people, but every experience is completely individual, as is in life and our journey. So within that, there was panic. I was actually concerned about what my body was doing and sort of fought against it. It felt obviously extremely painful, and I was worried about pooing. Sounds ridiculous. So there was a part of me that was thinking, oh my God, I can't, I was worried about my partner seeing me like that. And rather than go with what my body was trying to do, which was birth this beautiful life, there was a part of me that was fighting it. And so I experienced numbness in my hands, and this feeling of panic, and this feeling of being completely out of control and not knowing what I was doing, fear. And then in between contractions, my partner, who was trying his best to support me, was completely overwhelmed with emotion of what was happening. And I was trying to comfort him in between. I'm fine, it's okay, I'm fine. And trying to control everything, just really trying to control everything, which is ridiculous when you think about it, because it's not something that you control. If that child is ready to come into the world, we can't control it. Your body takes over. Your body is doing the work at that point in birthing that new life. And again, this is naturally, but this is the images that I get given to share. So stick with me if you're here. So that was one experience, and it was very fearful. It was very, very panicky. It was trying to control it. And then the image that I was getting was, and it's back to this, the thing that it's our bodies that are going through these transitions. It's our bodies that are shifting this, holding the light and the shifts in consciousness and all of that. It's working through our bodies. We're divine sovereign beings having a physical experience. It's the body that is doing all of this. And so when we surrender, relax into the flow of that, and do what our body, honor our bodies, honor what our body is asking us to do, without fear, without trying to control, it can be a very different experience. And things are intensifying at the moment. Our awareness is showing, yes, we know how to hold this light and to ground it. We've been training and working for it for years, one way or another. And our bodies are made to do this, but what we quite often do is shut down from that and go against it. So I'll go on to say about the next experience. So my second child then was my son, and because I knew, and my body had already been through that experience, and I was very panicky. By the time my son was ready to come into the world, I was still with the same partner then, and I knew what to expect. And I actually remember saying to him, as we were doing it, I was going to go with the flow of my body, and I said, come on, mate, we can do this. And honestly, it actually felt like we were doing it together. And we did, and it was a completely different experience. He did keep popping back up because the cord was around his neck, but we did it together, and I worked with my body, even though it was still traumatic for my body. I went with what my body felt like it needed to do at any time through the labor, and in particular when it came to that end bit where we there's the stages of labor. I'll come back to that in a second, but I remember saying, come on, mate, we can do this, and we did. And like I say, it was still painful, but I remember even afterwards saying, I enjoyed, as much as you can enjoy childbirth, I enjoyed the experience, because I felt like I was in flow. Me and my son were doing it together. I wasn't fighting anything. We completely went with what my body was asking me to do. We did it together. And I was lucky enough at that time to have, the midwife was wonderful. She, it sort of was, we were in a little bubble, me and my partner, and he coped with it so much better the second time because he knew what to expect, and he knew how to support me better, and I knew how to support myself. The midwife was brilliant, and it was almost like we were all in that little bubble and did it as a team. And like I say, I remember saying that as much as you can enjoy childbirth, it was actually, a really enjoyable experience. So then we come to my third child, who's just been sharing her excitement about what was on the radio, and this is with my husband, so who's a different partner. That's another story. But anyway, so with her, and the thing again, that's each experience was different, and each labour was different. Everybody who's a mother has got a labour story, but what I'm trying to get at is this physical thing, and that our bodies are doing the work in this physical experience that we're having. So the third child, my friend who's a midwife, I actually had my third child, my third daughter, at home, and it was a friend of mine who's a midwife quite high up in our community, in midwifery, and didn't actually do the hands-on delivery anymore. She came to my home and helped me deliver my daughter. And what keeps coming back to my mind is that she said to me that my stages of labour were textbook. Now, when it comes to what she meant by that, was when she came, I was doing dishes, I was in labour, and we'd called her, my husband had called her to come over, and he prepared the room and put some music on and done all of that stuff, and I was doing the dishes with me rubber gloves on, and she came and she was like, oh, I was glowing, had that sort of labour glow, if you like, and was just allowing everything to happen. And afterwards she said, it was all of your stages. She said it was beautiful because it was textbook of what the body goes through and these stages of labour. And but there was, in particular with this labour, I noticed that it got to a point where she was facing the wrong way. So she was head was down, but she was facing the wrong way. And what I hadn't realised is when the baby is being born, they have to well, they don't have to. Babies are born all different ways, but it's generally in a natural birth, they will need to face a certain way. I can't remember whether it's lay right or left, but for them to be able to come out with face up. And she was the wrong way. And I remember my friend saying, she's just so comfortable. She's just chilling. She's so comfortable. But it got to a stage where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. And you probably have seen things on TV and what have you, and it's just I can't do this. It's too much for me. I can't. Your brain sort of can't comprehend what your body's going through. You're tired. It feels exhausting. It feels you've got all sorts of emotions happening. And you just don't feel strong enough to be able to do it. And apparently that is the last phase of birth, of the labour, is that feeling, that overwhelming feeling that I can't do this. I'm not strong enough. I can't do it. I can't. Help me. Somebody get me out of here. Somebody take me away. I can't do this. And in reality, the baby's coming anyway. You are gonna do it, but you get that feeling of I just can't do it. I can't do anymore. I'm knackered. Can't do it. And that's when, and I hit that stage. So all of these stories are relating because, one, they're individual to me, to my experience. Each childbirth was different. And what I now know is that there are stages of that labour, and the stage that we're at now, and the message that I'm being given to share, is that we're in those last stages of labour. We've done all of the work. We've done all of the carry and nurture and care for ourselves, self-care, going into the dark, facing our shadows, all of the inner work. And we're now coming to a place where everything is so fast, and we feel out of control, and we don't feel like we know what to do, and we feel like you need to be doing, do I share things, do I not, do I, and then and it's like, oh my God, there's so much awareness, so much is happening. And even though we know our bodies are shifting and changing this consciousness, it can feel overwhelming, and we can have a myriad of emotions that can feel like we're defeated, that can feel like, I can't do this anymore. It's too much. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to share. I can't hold this anymore. Sometimes it can feel dense and heavy. And the next day you might just feel, you might feel elated and like, oh my God, you're so uplifted. But what I'm guided to share is that it's the last stage of birthing this new earth, and it is going to feel overwhelming, and it is going to feel like we can't do it, but we're doing it. You, me, we are courageously loving ourselves through this birthing of this new age, this new earth, and we're doing it. And so it's really important to keep honouring yourself, keep loving yourself, keep thanking your body. And your body knows what it's doing. It's doing whatever it needs to shift and change and to release these dense energies and fears and overwhelm. Allow yourself to feel whatever is coming up for you now. Honour it, love it. You are courageous, you are strong, you can do this, and you are doing it. And this is the message that I'm supposed to share. And with the, oh God, I always forget this word. Keep asking my daughter, what's the word? It's not an analogy, but it's, I just forget it. When it's, the stories that I tell are because that's what is going to be good for us to understand what it's compared to. And we're just at that stage where it's going to feel heavy and intense and raw, and God, I've been doing this for such a long time. I can't do it anymore. I just physically can't do it anymore. Can't mentally and emotionally cope with it anymore. I've been there, and no doubt that I'll possibly be there again, but was guided to share this message of hope, of love, and to say that you're doing it. Honour whatever it is that you're experiencing. Be in those spaces and be in the flow, and trust that your body knows what it's doing, and it's going to get you. It's doing it. It's taking you through these stages of rebirth and transmuting, transcending everything that we've known in our conscious awareness. It's raising vibrations, holding light, transmuting, transforming, all of that. And we're doing it. We are doing it. I'm trusting that so deeply. And from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all of the best. Honor your journey. Honor these experiences that you're having, because I know that things are going to look very different, and they're looking so different already. So I honour you. Thank you for being here. Do pop me a comment if you can, and and like this video. I'd be so grateful to know that, or to hear of your experiences, and to know if it's helped you. Again, I'm sort of stepping out of my own comfort zone now, and sharing more and more of these things that I'm guided to share, because it's time. It's time for us to come together and do this work that we all know that we need to do, and honour each other, and honour our journeys, and honour ourselves, and love ourselves as we're courageously stepping up and doing what it is that we know that now that we're here to do. So I love you so much. Thank you very much for being here. Please do comment, follow me. I'm going to be sharing more of things that I'm guided to share, and so much love, huge love. I'll see you again soon.